What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Real Review. I'm your host, John F. Thomas. I hope you hit that like button, subscribe, share it, leave a comment so that, I can know what you're saying and other people know what you're saying. And let's debate if we like it or not, or what you think, if you agree, if you disagree. I want to hear your thoughts. But before we really get into it, let me hit that intro.
It's the Real Review. It's the Real Review. It's the Real Review.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. I'm your host, John F. Thomas, and thanks for joining Real Review. Like I said, if you can, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you're on, YouTube. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live and all that kind of stuff. So today we're talking about WandaVision, episode 7. 7 episodes in, man, and 7 episodes into Real Review. And thank you all for watching and sharing and liking and leaving your comments, man. All of that helps. I really appreciate it. But, without further ado, let's get right into it because, I got things to do and I'm sure you got stuff to do. You're probably watching this on your break. So let's dive into it, shall we? All right. So episode 7 of WandaVision pays homage to, because, they've been doing the little decade jumps here and there where they've been, kind of taken off of different episodes and things like that. So with that being said, they have taken on, Modern Family, which has been really cute. It's been fun. It's like Modern Family. There's been the Office-ish episode, the way that the opening scenes opened up, they showed the different ways that you're spelling Wanda. So that was really cute. And then just, the rest of it was how basically Modern Family is set up to where they're living their lives, and then there's these awkward kind of moments where a person kind of feels stupid or they don't have an answer and they just kind of pause, and then it cuts to them basically being interviewed and they're explaining how they felt. So, and they perfectly encapsulated that. It was really great writing on the writing team's behalf, and I guess for the actors, really bringing it to life. Everybody really did a great job. And Modern Family is an amazing show. If you haven't watched Modern Family before, Modern Family is awesome. I haven't, as much as I'm a fan of Modern Family, I haven't been staying really up to date with Modern Family as much, but we ain't talking about Modern Family, we're talking about WandaVision. Go watch Modern Family though, too. It's a great show. So they did a really great job with that. And then they went on into talking about basically Wanda. Now we have kind of because the last episode, Vision was almost destroyed, right? And so Wanda expanded the hex. That's what happened in episode 6. She expanded the hex, and now we see that the Vision should be alive, because we saw that. And Wanda is basically at this point, she's just kind of over it. She's like, you know what? It's been so much, I can't deal with it. And they kind of just really speaks to a lot of the times everybody's been trying to talk to her and say, hey, all the stuff is going on. This is, you're doing this residence. They're under your mind control and stuff like that. And she has really been pushing back against that, not trying to be critiqued about anything. And she just, wants a break from everything and from the responsibility that honestly she must bear at this point, and doesn't want to be held accountable for any of it. I mean, go figure with that, but that's a whole nother conversation. I don't even. We'll talk about that some other time. Maybe once I finally finish up this whole thing about Wanda not wanting to be held accountable. Anyway, so that's another conversation. So she wants a break, and she's mentally kind of checked out. Tommy and Billy are trying to ask her hey, mom, what's going on? Where's dad? And she was like, hey, well, if he wants to be here, he'll be here. And it was just kind of dang, all right, well, so, she's just done with it. I'm not trying to force him to be around me. If he wants to be around me, he shall, and he will. And, it's all right, I guess. But, so, and then you start to notice in the episode, there are a few things that there's glitches that's going on. And she is there's controllers, the boys' controllers that they're playing video games with, it starts glitching. It goes from the modern video game controller that we all know and love, in a sense, and it starts going backwards. Goes back to let's say Super Nintendo controllers. Then it goes back to Atari controllers. It's morphing back in errors. And I thought that was oh snap, Wanda's starting to really lose control, and they're showing that. And it goes from there to where, as we see right here, she's in the kitchen. You know, she's about to get some. See, she pulls out almond milk at first because you see regular milk, but it goes from almond milk and it jumps back to just this regular carton milk. And then I think it jumps back once more to, like, remember when the mailman, well, not the mailman, the milkman used to come up and deliver milk. It went back to that, to the little, you know, container of milk, like with this. So it's showing that she's like losing her grip mentally on this hex, and probably because of her expanding it, she can't really control even the simplest of things, where it's starting to lose it. That's what my guess so far is. So they, you know, and Tommy and Billy is noticing this, and they're just like, man, you know, they're like, you know, it's really loud. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you know, she was just like, oh well, you know, don't worry about it. This is, you know, mommy's day off. And conveniently enough, Agatha comes through. So she comes through and is like, oh, hey, mommy needs a break. And so she's like, hey, let's give mommy a little me time, and you know, you guys can hang out with me. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. But you know, Wanda's just like, okay, all right, yeah, sure. You know, so she gets her alone time. While she's doing all that, the TV that she's watching, she's like kind of happy, like, yeah, I get to sit back and chill and watch TV and all of this stuff. And she is trying to watch TV, and the TV jumps back to like the black and white TV. So it's even when she's using the magic to try to turn everything back within her range back to normal, and you know, she's struggling. And then it cuts to like her speaking to the camera, and she's like, yeah, you know, it's just like, you know, there's a lot going on and whatever, but you know, it's fine, you know, it's okay, everything's good, you know. So, and the person behind the camera is talking to her almost kind of like, yeah, I mean, maybe something, but it's your fault, right? But you know, whatever, she kind of ignores that. Also, I wanted to point out something earlier about the kids mentioning their uncle. And so far we haven't seen Pietro. Like, where is he? You know, because I remember she blasted him in the last episode, but I mean, he's not dead. I don't think he's dead, but he hasn't showed up. So like, Vision isn't here, of course, because he was out, and Pietro, like, he should be somewhere, right? But she told him, like, yeah, no, this is not your uncle. And it's just like, well, then who is he? Who is he? That's a good question. So I guess we'll find out eventually. But yeah, so we go from there to let me see what happened. Oh, Monica, because of the hex expanding, Monica and Jimmy, they survive. And of course, Hayward survives. And that douche. But you know, they all survived the hex and all of it. So Hayward is they're trying to figure out, you know, what's going on inside the hex now. At this point, they can't really see what's happening inside the hex. It's basically off air. So maybe that's because they don't have Darcy around to help recalibrate, you know, because now it's in modern times and they're looking at some, you know, the past errors. They're not looking currently. That's what I'm guessing, you know, my scientific mind, you know. So but they're like, you know what? Okay, let's launch the attack or whatever. So they're planning on launching some kind of attack. This jerk. But anyway, we cut from that to Monica and Jimmy. They're trying to, you know, figure out like, man, what's going on? Okay, so she was like, okay, I have a person that's bringing something. They should be here soon with this device that I need to get inside the hex that'll keep me safe. But also, they do realize, they find out from Darcy breaking that firewall earlier that Hayward was basically, he wasn't just trying to take Vision offline. Like, he wasn't, you know, trying to decommission him. He was actually trying to bring him back online to use him as a sentient weapon. This jerk. Oh man. So that's really why he's after Vision. That's really why he wasn't trying to help Vision when Vision was falling apart. Because he was just like, all right, we just gonna take him and bring him back. We're not trying to help him. I just want to secure the asset, basically. So this dude is up to nefarious schemes. So he's just another villain, basically. I mean, this is a villain. You know, that's so far, I guess. So Hayward is a jerk. But so while that is happening, Monica gets this device, this, you know, shield, this car, you know, that shields her, supposedly helps her pass through the hex. And so one of the other sword agents, they helped her out. And she was like, you know, I really appreciate it. And basically, sword agents are like, hey, look, we're not just loyal to your mom, we're loyal to you. You know, so basically, she's like, you know, F F. Hayward. He ain't talking about nothing. So it's like, all right, cool. So she gets inside the machine and she tries to drive through the hex. It does not work. So she starts driving up the hex and it starts disintegrating, like changing, morphing the hex back. It looks like she's about to die. So she happens to eject and get out. Oh my goodness, thank God she's safe. And she just has this crazy look on her face like, I'm going in the hex. And, Jim is just like, no. And she just runs through the hex. And it's pretty scary when she's kind of doing that. So she is going through this hex and she starts getting kind of like her cells are starting to kind of split apart. And, it really sucks because it's just like, dang, and it reminds me of what Darcy was saying when she was just like, hey, man, your cells can't take that. Or, you probably shouldn't even do it anyway, and Monica is just like, yo, I'm going through. I have to help Wanda. I have to tell Wanda about them using Vision as a weapon. She has to release these resonances. So she goes through and she starts hearing like her mom's voice, and she starts hearing Nick Fury's voice, and she starts hearing Captain Marvel's voice. And it all just calls back to the Captain Marvel movie. Watch that if you want. I'm not suggesting you watch it. I'm not suggesting it as hard as watching Modern Family, because clearly to me, Modern Family is better than Captain Marvel. But if you just want to know for context, go watch Captain Marvel. So, she's hearing all that. And as you can see, body's kind of splitting apart and, she's pushing through, and she pushes through on the other side, and her eyes are turning blue because the cells finally, morph back together, and her eyes are glowing blue. What's going on here? And she can see with her eyes going blue that she can see the signal that the hex is giving out, that is emitting out the field, the energy fields throughout Westview. And it's like, oh man, you got energy vision powers or something. I don't know. We don't know what her powers are here. But she runs off towards Wanda because I have to help Wanda. And it goes from there so remember when we're talking about Vision and Darcy got swallowed up in a hex. So Darcy is at the circus because Vision wakes up at the circus now, and Vision sees her, and he's trying to like talk with her and like, hey, you the one that tried to help me, remember? And you were the only one, which is sad. You're the only one that tried to help me. And she, of course, she got the hex juju, the Wanda juju on her, and she don't know, what happened. So she just like, huh? And so he had to do his magic fingers, his finger trick, So, and she remembered. She was like, oh, Vision, all this stuff. So they break away from the circus. She fills him in on what has happened because remember, he said in the last episode he doesn't remember anything prior to being in Westview and Wanda. She fills him in on him being an Avenger. She fills him in on him dying twice, and that Wanda killed him the first time. He was like, why? He was like, you told her to. And he was like, then she had to witness you being killed again once you were brought back to life and being taken away from her once more. And then she was basically like, man, so Wanda's been through a lot. And she was telling her like, well, look, Wanda really loves you, so now Vision is kind of torn with like, okay, for what I know, she's hurting these people, but Wanda loves me. And she's just really going through mental anguish. She's going through pain. She can't let go of, and it hurts because you love a person and you don't want to let them go. He was like, well, how is this even possible? Darcy's like, I don't know. But it's funny shenanigans pop up while they're trying to race back. It seems like, from when Wanda told her kids, like, well, if he wants to come back, he can come back when he wants to. And they're trying to cross over the street. I think Ella Street is what they're trying to cross over. And all of a sudden, a construction crew comes up, and almost like just very comedic form. They come up and stop, wait, we got to do some construction here. All of a sudden, so the truck can't pass through that they've stolen to try to make it back. They're sitting there having to wait, and then Vision starts doing the fourth wall breaking, where he's doing the interview things too. Like, this is ridiculous. Wanda is, she's clearly, doesn't want me to come back or whatever, So. They sit there, and as soon as the construction crew leaves, then I think a school of kids are coming through. So they're stopping there, and it's just like, dang. So Vision's like, man, what am I doing here? So he phases through the truck, and he remembers he can fly. Oh yeah, I can fly. So then he flies over to Wanda. So cut from all of that to where now Monica has finally found Wanda, and she's trying to tell Wanda like, "Hey, look, man, Hayward it has these plans for Vision. You have to stop this. You have to, let the hex down and whatever, all this other stuff." And Wanda ain't trying to hear it. She's just like, "Nah, you need to get out of here. Before I hurt you. I told you not to come back, and you're back, and it's gonna be trouble." So they kind of get into a scuffle. So Wanda tries to, magic push her away, but Monica's power is like kind of activating. She kind of shows her like, "Well, look, you have to kill me then, because I'm not leaving," and that kind of throws Wanda off. So, long story short, the neighbor Agnes comes by and she tries to bring, "Oh, you overstayed your welcome," talking to Monica, and she scares Wanda off. So Wanda basically tells her like, "Look, leave, don't come back." So they go from there to Monica's like distraught. She's like, "Dang, okay, I can't leave." So she kind of like goes after them. So now Wanda is in Agnes's home and she's looking around and she sees like some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that the kids, were eating, but they've been left there. And we all know how kids are with food typically. They don't just leave food all the time, especially like these are starting to become teenagers. They don't leave food uneaten. Like a toddler, I can see that. They eat some, run off, play games, and come back. But these are teens, basically, preteens. They're going to eat their food. They're not just going to leave food around like that. They just be eating stuff. So that stood out to her. She was like, what's going on? And she looked and saw, the TV. I think there was video game and stuff. And they weren't playing the game. And it was really quiet. And, but let me go back. I can't forget when the kids were there earlier and was talking to Agnes. Remember, one of the kids said it's so noisy, with everything that's going on because all the glitches and stuff. When they were in Agnes's home, they were saying, it's really quiet. And Agnes said, oh, because you feel like you can talk to Senior Scratchy. Senior Scratchy is a little rabbit that Agnes had. I think Agnes gave the rabbit to Wanda and them in the second episode. The second episode gave her the rabbit for the magic show. And she was like, oh, because you can tell all your secrets or whatever to Senior Scratchy. And that stood out to me because it was just like, secrets. Like, what? What are you trying to find out? Like, what is, because remember, even when Pietro, in the last episode, he was like, yeah, tell me, like, how are you doing this? Like, tell me. And it just seems like there's some information trying to be siphoned from Wanda, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. So I don't know. What did this all mean? We don't know yet. But, that stood out to me. It's like, what are you trying to get from these kids? What are you trying to get from Wanda? Like, what information? So that's why I don't really necessarily trust it. But anyway, the kid was just like, oh, it's really quiet. And she was like, oh, this is like, he looked at her and he was like, you're quiet on the inside. So anyway, like fast forward now, Wanda's in there. She's like, hey, where are the kids? And Agnes is somewhere like making some tea or something. She was like, oh, they must just be, maybe they're playing in the basement. And that's where it's like, playing in the basement. And you ain't watching them? Maybe they're playing. Oh no! Oh no! Ain't no maybe. I don't know. You don't know where my kids are. So Wanda goes down to the basement. She's like looking around. So as she goes down to the basement, it starts slowly transforming from a house. It's almost like she discovered where Indiana Jones went. To find some treasure, because you start seeing like the house slowly morph into almost like a dungeon, like a cavernous area, and you start seeing basically like these magic tomes, like magic books and skulls and things like that. And this is like, whoa, what is this? And then next thing you know, Agnes shows up and she tells her, he was like, hey, you thought you were the you think you were the only magic user around here, right? With that being said, cue music. killed Spark. I knew it. I knew who would kill it. That's an evil person that would kill a dog. That's just you dirty witch. How dare you? It was Agatha all along. Oh man, this is horrible. But I knew it. So now we kind of got two villains now. What a reveal. And what amazing theme music. Wow, this is, hey, I saw a friend post it before and I get it now. They're like, I smell a spin. This isn't, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do a spinoff. But that's some bumping music. I got to give them credit for that. Hey, that was grooving. So now we see this whole time Pietro showing up. There was Agatha. The magic show, what kind of little mishaps and mess up. Agatha. Even Agatha. It was but how much of it is Agatha? So that's the question. How much of it is Agatha and how much is Wanda? I don't know. So that's probably what we're going to lead into for episode 8. So which actually I think it's out today. So watch that. I would definitely be watching that probably later on tonight. Man, that's crazy. But with all that being said, we need to go ahead and go on over. What did I think about the acting and casting? Let's go to these ratings. How do I feel about it? So acting and casting, I feel like they did a good job. They did a really good job. Even though, like I said, y'all know how I feel about Darcy. But she didn't do bad this episode. I give her credit for that. Oh, wait. Whoa. Even before I get into all of that, sorry. Let me go back to rewind. So there was a post-credit scene where, remember, I said Monica was going after, Wanda being taken away because she was trying to tell her what's happening. So she sneaks around the back trying to sneak in, and she sees like a little basement, a little hatch kind of thing. So as she's about to open up the hatch, guess who shows? And you see like kind of like the magical stuff around the door. Like now Agatha is purple magic. That's her thing. That's her brand, purple. So she tries to open up the hatch, and Pietro whips up behind the Quicksilver, and he says, "Snooper's gonna snoop," and it's like, dang man, and that's where they cut off from there. So wow. Anyway, going back. Okay, now you're all caught up. Acting and casting, what I think about it. I think they did a good job, even with Darcy in this. And I y'all know how I feel about Darcy, but I think she even did because she's doing a better job in this. Maybe it's just it was so lighthearted enough to where I don't know. But her being around Vision, Paul Bettany, maybe made her a little better, so she wasn't as annoying this time around. So I give that 3.5 stars for the acting. Really good job. Actually, the woman playing Agatha, I wish I had her name right now, and I apologize. But she is doing a great job. Agatha Harkness. She's doing really good. She's always been weird and odd to me, but it was all unassuming in a sense. It was like something was up, but not enough to where you like, hey man, it's just something's weird with her. It was just like, like she's playing the typical, over informational neighbor and stuff like that. She just did a really great job. So 3.5 stars for acting and casting. And everybody's doing good on that. Story. How I feel about the story. I already recapped the story for you. Yeah, for this episode though, and I know a lot of people are like, oh man, you should probably have more reels, for that. This should be like, 4 or 5. And it's just like, yeah, for the overall story, but we're talking about just in this episode. How do I feel? And they did a good job in this episode. Was there anything truly mind-boggling and amazing and life-changing and had me go and really reevaluate life? No, not really. So, but it was still good. It was a solid entry. So I give it 3.5 reels. 3.5 reels there. And like it's doing a solid job. I'm definitely excited to see what happens next from here. So to go from that to the budgeting and marketing, like how do I feel about that? As usual, they do a really great job with that. Budgeting and marketing do a good job. So I'm giving that 4 reels. They're doing it word of mouth. Everybody's talking about it. That's some of the best marketing you can have. So they've been doing really good. So with all of that said and done, what is my overall score for this episode? So, Monkey, I need a drum roll. Thank you, Monkey. All right. So that'll be, wait, no, sorry, that's wrong. That'll be 3.5 reels. That was on me, Monkey. I'm sorry. 3.5 reels. 3.5 reels for the entire overall episode. I think it was a solid entry. I think they did good. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens next. Agatha all along, man. Woo, boy, I can't wait to see what happens. And because remember, Vision is coming. Vision is coming. So maybe, hey, you have potentially 3 heroes now. So you have Wanda, Monica, and Vision. And maybe Darcy too, because Darcy is on her way and she's woken up inside the hex. So so we'll see. So maybe it was Agatha doing that instead of Wanda. Maybe it wasn't Wanda holding Vision back. Maybe that was Agatha, because she already knew. It's like, hey, I gotta get what I need. And where are the kids? What does she want with the kids? So all of these things, all of these questions, these are questions that need answers. So again, thank you all for tuning in. It's a crazy episode. It's amazing. Well, I don't say amazing. Overall, so far, WandaVision in its entirety thus far is starting to become amazing. It's like, oh man, what's going to happen from this point for Marvel? But for this episode was really good. So thank you all for tuning in. Also, as usual, I said, if y'all want to chip in and help out with this episode, if you want me to review something, definitely feel free. If you want me to review your favorite episode, I'll do it for $1. If you want me to review a movie upon request, I'll do it for $5. If you want me to review a TV show season upon request, just go to anchor.fm/real-review/support. Again, it's anchor.fm/real-review/support, and leave your patronage there, and I'll be able to review whatever you'd like me to review. Also, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about this. And sure, this is probably the longest episode I've done so far, just because there's a lot of information to get through. So this has been really great, man. I appreciate. Wow, my camera is freaking out. It's been really great. I appreciate it. I will see y'all again soon when I review episode 8. So I'll see y'all then, man. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Thanks for joining me on the Real Review. I'll see you again soon.